Yes.
Yeah. Now we have it. Very good. Very good. Very good. So our meditations continue. Our meditations on the path to enlightenment. We are walking the path. We hope at least that we are doing it. Right? Very good. I like that you all have little socks. Yeah. You mean it? Mean it either. Yes, yes, I know some people get cold. That's true. That is true. So very good. So these meditations, as I said at the beginning, is really to try to make us practice. And practice doesn't mean, because practice is a big word, no? And we need to also sometimes define what practice means. So what practice means? We start with a question. Action. Okay, but action, but it can be many activities. So going to publics can be an action or an activity, no? Yes? Is that practice?
Not meditating.
Shopping practice, practice of shopping. But
Doing something.
definitely that there is definitely a component of repetition. Yes, very good.
Motivation.
Experience, very good as well. With motivation, very good. We are kind of like starting to get to understand a bit. It's becoming something, Now it's becoming something. With motivations, with like, constantly, no, constancy.
Those things of the teachings
Okay.
that you have taught, meditation,
Yes.
analyzing.
Yes.
Practicing those different, I don't know, lamrim.
Yes, 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 definitely. Definitely that is also we need to have the basis for practicing something, right? So that is very good. Buenas tardes, señor. So that's yes, it definitely is. I think there's a component of all of that. But what makes it a practice or not, and especially a Buddhist practice, that is very important because that's what we are talking about here. We're not talking about practice, I don't know, soccer, or we don't talk about soccer today. Yeah.
I pick this up. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I have OCD.
We're gonna call you next time for you and then Sharon to come here and help to clean the gompa. Don't worry. So we're gonna, practice means definitely in the Buddhist terms, definitely the most important part is motivation, right? But the motivation that needs to be based on the studies or something that we know, and it has a component of continuity, right? And so we can have experiences. Well, everything is there, but we need to understand that practice is an individual experience, right? It is a constant experience or a constant activity that we do with our body, with our speech, and with our mind. So practice doesn't need necessarily to be just when we sit down on the cushion. Going to publics can become a practice if we create a motivation for that, right? Lama Zopa Rinpoche and Khandrila, my two very special main teachers, both of them had especially when they were traveling, they used to go to so many places, and they normally after teachings or something like this, they used to ask like, can we go shopping mall? And we would be like, okay, what Rinpoche would like to buy? Oh, just look, right? And we were like, oh God, so boring, But then both of them would go and would make mantras to bless the things. So everything that they were like blessing. So people could, by the power of their karma, in connection with the power of their intention, meet with the Dharma or achieve happiness or be free from suffering. Right? It's just so we can be practicing all the time if we want. All the time. But for us to achieve that level, we need to do some sort of more formal practice. That is the word that I'm going to use. Formal practice, which is what we are doing here in these classes. What we do in the morning at 7:30 in the morning when we sit down and we meditate on a specific topic and we go through those topics, making a kind of like a chain of understanding that will create a certain experience that will make a transformation. Is that what we want? Everything that we want to do to be defined as practice, it needs to be to decrease and eliminate our negative tendencies, our delusions. That's what practice is. It needs to be to decrease our negativities. So when you go to Publix and you are like seeing all of that food and you can offer it, you know, just thinking, every person that doesn't have food, may they at least, one day in this life, future lives, can be able to have this. So you offer that. Or you think about every single, this is one meditation that is very good. You go to Publix and you see everything over there. It's done. It was made. It was like packaged. It was transported. It was cultivated. It was by people. So many beings. So kind, right? So then that can become a beautiful practice of understanding our interdependence, understanding how things are, how we are dependent on others for our hunger to be satisfied, right? So these can be practiced as well. But for that, we need to cultivate that mindset. Because right now, as I say, we don't have that. We just go to Publix. I just want to buy my things, my things. Oh, they don't have these. No, no, no. Oh, there's a big line. Oh, no, these are, just like that. Me. So we try to change. That is practice. When it goes against the me, when it goes against to decrease the negativities, the selfishness, that clinging, that attachment, the anger. That is what practice is. Okay? So we know what we are doing now. So now, so now we're gonna do a meditation today. Because I did the meditation on the four opponent powers, I did it in the morning. But let's do the causes of cyclic existence. Let's talk about that. Let's talk a little bit, because yesterday I talked a bit about that, right? I talked a little bit about how the sufferings that we have in our mind. And then we need to understand what are the suffering of cyclic existence. Cyclic existence, it can be also named as samsara. Big word. We say, we know, we heard before, but we have no idea what samsara means. What means samsara?
You say, cyclic
Existence.
existence, thank you.
What that means, samsara?
Circling.
Yes, what it means exactly, circling.
You die and you're born and you die.
Yes. Yeah, but you die and
Forever.
reborn without any control. Control. Without any no need. No need for Google. No need for Google. That's what samsara means. Samsara means cycling into the different realms, right? So you are born and reborn, born and reborn, born and reborn, born and reborn again and again and again and again without any control, in an uncontrolled way. So then you have the suffering of all that we said yesterday, the three types of sufferings, right? The suffering, the suffering of change, the suffering of all pervasive. Because we don't have control. So everything that we do, in whatever place we are born, everything is suffering. No? Yes. Yes.
Because you said there's no control,
Yes.
but we do have control of that's what we're trying to do, have control of our thoughts
Yes.
so that we can have good karma. So we do have some control.
Yeah, so that is exactly this. But right now, we are not. We are in samsara. You understand? Because we don't have the control. Because our minds right now are totally under control. And this is exactly the meditation that we're going to do today. To realize, we need to realize that. We need to understand that as we might think that we have the control, that we have everything under control in our lives. We have our house, our finance, our life, like family. Everything is under control in that sense, right? Relatively, yeah, maybe yes. But in our minds, we have no control. One of my teachers, we went to do a retreat with him in France, and it was very close to Camembert, the place where they make the cheese. You know the cheese Camembert? So he used to make an exercise with us like this. Now I'm going to say to you to meditate, and everything that you do, you try to meditate, but you don't meditate in Camembert. Don't think about Camembert. Impossible. We have zero control to say, I'm not going to meditate on Camembert. I can't. You can't. Your mind will go. Just because he said, don't meditate, your mind is going to be like, I cannot think, I cannot think, I cannot think, I cannot think, I cannot think. Camembert. Do you understand? That's how our minds are. Because we can't. If we say to meditate, oh, meditate on the breath, we cannot say 1 second, 2 seconds, 3, 5 seconds on the breath. It goes all over the place. Oh yeah, I need to do this. Oh yeah, there's that. Oh yeah, oh I'm a little bit confused. I'm tired. Oh, right? It's a telenovela. I don't know if Brazilian of Colombian, but it's a telenovela, right? In our mind. It's just there. It's a movie. Totally joke. It's a joke. So that is the uncontrolled mind that we have, right? And that at the moment of dying, because we don't have control, then it just expels us or throw us, is actually we call throwing karma into the next rebirth without us having no idea. That's why the moment of death is very important for us to try as much as possible to have a calm, relaxed, spacious mind.
Saying that.
Yes,
kind of
please.
Dovetailing on the question. Are you saying that no matter how long we study, no matter how much we practice, we'll always be in this place?
No, this is exactly the opposite. I'm saying that if we don't realize that we are totally under control, we cannot decide to change. We can change, right?
You were saying that
Because
then you have control.
that it is. It is a potential control, but it's not a control that we have now.
I think we don't have it now.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Why do you think that we have now? If I say to you now, meditate on for 1 hour, just thinking about the kindness of all those beings in publics. Impossible. You can't control your mind.
Why do you feel that?
It's impossible the way that it is now, our minds. Just because we don't have the tools and the necessary possibility.
There's some right now that you have those tools.
Yes,
They have
because
to
they
learn them.
because they tried, because they studied, they contemplated, and they meditated.
You're saying that we have.
We don't have. Yes, I'm talking more about me. Then I will try. You understand? No. But it's very good what you're saying, because that is exactly what it is. Is that we need to understand that how much we actually have control now. That is the meditation today, is to recognizing how much we have control and how much we don't have control, right? That is the thing.
We have control of other people, but we have control of our own.
We have the potential to have control of our minds, right? We don't have now
Maybe not
the
100%.
perfection. That's it. That's exactly this. That's exactly this.
I'm like, I feel like I'm arguing, but I
That's
don't
it.
mean
That's
to.
exactly what I like. I like debate. We like debate here. We like that.
Illuminated.
Achieve illumination.
To achieve enlightenment. Yeah. Yes. That's what I'm trying to say. That I'm saying that when we have completely control of our minds, that is the enlightenment state, right? Then we are, just let me check. No, just because it's very important, because if we have control of our minds, that means that we have that we are out of samsara because we can choose where to be reborn.
You're saying anyone who walks in this room, no matter, and you may not know them.
Yes.
Anyone who walks in this room, whoever they are.
Yeah.
You feel they don't have control of their mind.
I feel that they can, I don't know because I don't have the knowledge of their minds, right? That is the thing. At least I don't have the knowledge of the omniscience to check what their minds are, right? But the completely control of their minds, I find it very difficult because it would be very easy for us to check someone that has control. For example, the Dalai Lama. It's a consensus, almost, because there's too many people that don't like him, right? But many people that admire him because of his kindness, his loving, his patience, his like harmony, right? So it's kind of like there is a consensus in the way that we kind of like see him, right? And the way that he behaves with others. It's very practicing what he's preach, right? Right? But then if we think about other people, maybe not so much.
Okay, so you
Right.
use the qualifying word, you say complete control.
That's it.
That's.
That's it. That is exactly this. Very good. That's it. One can have some control. That's exactly this. We don't have completely control of our.
Like someone like Thich Nhat Hanh.
Yes, completely control.
He had
Completely control of his mind. Beautiful, beautiful control.
And we'll have the potential for complete
That's it.
control, potential to be a Buddha.
That's exactly this. Yes.
Just
Sharon.
have enlightenment is complete control of the mind.
That's it.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There's a very beautiful text that says like this. I think I have it here. I actually gave a talk for here 2 years ago when I first talk online that I gave was about that. It says, um, practice only virtues, don't practice non-virtues, and control your mind thoroughly. This is the teachings of the Buddha. Something like that. That this is bad translation, but something like this. That is the
So
teachings
then
of the
how
Buddha.
many people reach enlightenment? So
Many
it's
people.
almost like saying
Yeah.
we're reaching for something that we're not gonna aspire to. So it's almost like
What do you mean
a
aspire
lot,
to?
like we're a
Reach.
we're
Yeah, yeah.
losers.
We're not gonna reach. We are aspiring.
Well,
We're aspiring to it, but we're not.
you know what I'm saying? It's like
Why
In
do you
this
think?
lifetime.
Why do you think that?
because not many people get total control of their mind. Only certain individuals, maybe they start from, childhood, start learning a
Mhm.
certain way of life, like the Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
But us, we're normal people out here.
Yes.
We're trying to,
We are trying to increase our
Increase.
complete control. You understand?
yeah,
So maybe in this life, and that is why it's so important in the path of enlightenment to understand there is a gradual path. It's kind of like slowly, and it's slowly because depends on lifetimes. So that means that what we are creating here, we are creating the possibilities that in next life to almost start a little bit ahead, because you already have that. It's like kids that start playing the piano at 3 years old, and they are like, and then you're like, nah, in 3 years, like in 1 year, they cannot have that knowledge. You understand? They are cheating on the way that in previous life they brought that, with them. You understand? That is the thing.
confuses me
Why?
because.
Yes.
Because I understood that when we go to the next life, we're not bringing the same person. We're not bringing a lot
Yes.
of our memories or
Memories, no, but
Or-
we are bringing kind of like what we called imprints or karma, right? Tendencies. Yes, that's a very good word. Tendencies. Right?
Everything we've ever done.
In a way, we have tendencies, right? And if we increase and we enhance the positive tendencies, that means that they also come with us. Right? Sweetheart, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Myself. I'm a 35-year-old guy born in Brazil. I did university. I was born in a place there's no Dharma, right? And then suddenly I decided to leave my job and all of that because I was not happy, very unhappy, even though I had everything, money, career at 25, you know. So I said, I'm not happy. That's already weird, right? By itself. Very weird. Very weird in the way that I have two older brothers that they didn't do that. So we cannot say that it's because of education or, the family parents. We cannot say that. So I needed to find something that was meaningful to me, that would, for me, was much more important, right? Than just my brother. I remember he had like 5, 6, 7, 8 pair of shoes. I had two. And one of them had a hole, and I was using the same. I was happy, right? Always, like always, since I'm very young. So these types of things, they don't make enough sense that we learned in this life. It's too much of a short time for someone to develop that connection. And then, for example, when I went to Nepal and I met my teacher, when I met Lama Zopa Rinpoche, the first and only thing that I could remember, it was to cry so much because I could only think, now I meet you again. And that is something that is, I cannot explain without saying, I created these causes in past lives. You understand? It's my own experience. So I can't say there's no such thing as past life. There's 220 million people in Brazil. There is 4 monks in this tradition, and I am one of them. So if this for me it's not karma, please tell me what it is. Tell me if it's not karma, what it is then.
Find something better.
But then why did I not go to a church, a Christian church in Brazil? There's many Catholic things over there, much more. It's much more easier and connected with my culture. Why did I have to go to the bloody, you know?
I'll give her an example of myself. So I'm one of 3 sisters, and my mother always says, I was an artist from the womb.
Mm-hmm.
My sisters aren't artists.
Mm-hmm.
She said, the minute I could pick up a pen, I was drawing apples. I wasn't even 1 year old.
Mm-hmm.
So, and no one taught me.
That's it.
So where did that come from?
It's very complicated,
Where does that come from?
Yes.
But is that like, I have trouble with the
Yes,
reincarnation?
right.
Yes, very good.
Memories or personality, or you don't say soul, you say mind.
Yes.
And I thought that you don't bring that.
What you bring is not that, like, you're not gonna bring the Sharon with you, right? What you're gonna bring is the tendencies that Sharon has, right? But if you come in a male body, because of past karmas, you're gonna come with tendencies that when you were a male, you created, for example. You understand what I'm saying? So that is what it becomes, is that it's an imprint. And an imprint is kind of like a seal. Seal, can say that? A seal? Yeah, in the mind. So whenever the conditions that are closer or similar to that come together, it ripens. Right? That's why, for example, it's very easy to understand why we get angry with the same thing that sometimes we were angry when we were a kid. Because we make that similar aspect in our mind and we think it is the same situation. Situation totally different. Totally different, right? First, because we are 50 years older, but it's there and we come the same thing. So that's what we do. It's the same, but instead of coming from when we were a kid, it came from a previous life, you know? And very good what you're doing of asking and questioning and thinking. No, because I'm honestly, that's what I was answering him. Yeah, it was yesterday about the Westerner and East. Yes, that is the biggest difference about the Eastern and Westerners. The Easterns, they are born with reincarnation is normal. It's like the same way that we believe that reincarnation is not normal in our daily life. For them, it's normal. It's fully percent accepted. If you ask them why, we don't know. the same thing that I'm gonna, if I ask most Westerners why there's no reincarnation, the answer normally is because God says so, or because it is said like this, right?
Religion or
And there is
something.
no more explanation. It's just that. The Buddhist teachings don't say this. The Buddhist teaching says, look at your mind, observe. And if you really observe attentive, you're going to start to see some patterns that you might not have created in this life. And you start to see, I can see that. Yeah, when I was young, this is like this. Oh, that is like that. Or someone else, and then someone else gives an example, and you say, oh, or you see kind of like these kids, like super smart kids at 2, 3 years old. And then you're like, wow, that is something that. And to be completely honest with you, I can be completely wrong here, and you guys kind of, but as far as in my very small knowledge of Christianity, reincarnation was part of the Bible in the beginning. Yeah, we discussed
Yeah,
that.
we talked about.
It was. And then it was changed at some
Didn't
point,
like it.
right?
Religious Jewish people,
That's it.
That's
That's
right.
exactly this.
they believe that they've all been reincarnating
That's exactly this.
since
Yeah,
Moses.
Moses. That's it. That's it. Yes,
Religious Jewish people.
religious Jewish people.
The ones
So,
with the hats.
there are many, like Hindus, which is actually the biggest, like actually religion in the world, right? Because just Indians only have 1 billion people or something. So you understand? So what I like about Buddhism is, and I really remember that taste when I first heard about it, is because challenges my world views. You understand?
Hmm.
It challenges my world views. It challenges my way of just thinking in a certain way, and gives me what I try to do with myself. And this was very hard because I am still extremely arrogant and me. But it gives me the possibility of saying, hey, might be wrong, or let me check if this is true or not. And from my own experience, I try to come up with a understanding if it is true or not. For me, right? That is practice. Because otherwise, we become exactly like the other religious people that ask, oh, why the, because of course, because Buddha said that there is reincarnation. Then there's no difference between us and what we are trying to say that, the Christians or anything like that. Just, it's exactly, it's just because you just change. Yeah, just say, because God says so, because Buddha said so. Same, right? Makes no sense. That is exactly what the Dalai Lama is fighting in Buddhism. It doesn't want blind faith because it doesn't work in Buddhism, right?
Could you explain, like, my sister and I have, we both, I'm pretty sure, we both like planned on being born together.
Yes.
That,
Planned.
they have a karmic connection.
That's it. In Buddhism, we're gonna say maybe you did. Maybe you made that kind of like. Of course.
I'm enlightened.
Exactly.
They're
My
twins.
sister.
Twins.
And they are twins.
I
Identical.
told you.
Daddy was the best.
Who did you think was older?
So, in the Buddhist point of view, yes, let's say that the motivation for you to come together, maybe you created that intention, right? Maybe. But normally, we only are able to create an intention and make that intention to come about when we have fully, completely control of our minds. You understand? Otherwise, it's just a karmic connection. It's a karmic connection, which means, because karma is cause and effect, right? So karma is not fate. It's not destiny. It's not like, that is the only way we had to go through this, No, we don't have to. because of our karmic connections, because of our habitual tendencies, I like this word, I forgot to use, that's a good one, tendencies, right? We just continue doing that. But it doesn't mean that it has to be like that, right? You didn't need to come together. You came together. And that is the karma connection that you have. Now,
A strong
a
comment.
strong connection, yes. But we're gonna go and meditate a little bit later in these meditations, if we can even meditate today. But you know, yeah, just a sec. But we're gonna meditate as well on developing bodhicitta, the 7 points, you know, of bodhicitta. And the first one is realizing that all sentient beings have been our mothers. And that, thinking about that, of course, you're going to need to understand that the basis of that meditation is reincarnation, right? And not only reincarnation, but the concept of time in Buddhism, which is beginningless and endless. That is when the mind goes like, because we can't. We can't understand right now even the concept of something being beginningless and endless.
What about the Big Bang Theory?
Big Bang theory, the Buddhist point of view is it was just not the first Big Bang.
Oh.
And you know what? There's some scientists coming to the same conclusion. And you know why? Because of the same explanation of Buddhism. Matter could never be created without previous matter.
Hmm.
It could never be like, you know, it's because we do a lot of we watch too many Disney movies where things just pop up, you know, like this. You understand? It has to have a cause, and a cause needs to be of the same nature. That means mind cannot create matter. Matter cannot create mind, but matter can create matter, and mind continues, not creates, but continues. Mind, right? It's mind, mind, mind. Matter can explode, come together, become mini tiny zero particles, but still there, and then they come together. Our bodies, the perfect example. We need one matter from the father, one matter from the mother. They come together and then they start to multiply. So like that. Make sense? You can get the logic. So just
No beginning. you
yes,
know, Beginningless.
yes, but no end, no.
I can almost get no end,
Okay.
but it seems like something had to start something.
Yes.
Yeah, well, oh, what happened 1 second before that?
Yes. What it was before the Big Bang? What was before the Big Bang? What there was before the Big Bang?
I'm just giving you one choice. The
Yes.
other choice is that God created everything in
Yes.
7 days.
Yeah, exactly, exactly,
mean,
exactly. But that's exactly it. Very good. But it's very good, very good. I'm so happy we're having this conversation. I hope that
Everybody's
me too. Yes. But Margaret, you had a question. Yes.
Oh, my God.
It's, of course, it's very late, but she tried so much.
What time is it?
It's 12. Yes.
Different time.
Tell me. T.
Okay, I have no zero artistic ability.
Yes.
So
Karma.
based on what you said about tendencies,
Yes.
does that mean that I couldn't be born into another lifetime that in which I do have artistic ability?
Definitely you can.
I can.
We have no idea what you created in the past. That is the problem. And that is the solution in a way, right? The problem with not knowing what you did in the past, that means that you have no idea what is going to come.
So the tendencies don't have to come out in this lifetime.
No, they will never come everything in one lifetime, right? Because, for example, when you become an animal, then you're going to have the tendencies when you had an animal. They're going to be more connected, right? Or when you, I'm going to touch in something here that's quite complicated subject. I always do that. I always put myself into very bad situations. That's myself. But for example, the explanation of homosexuality for Buddhism, tendency. If a guy have a tendency to have more female reincarnations, then he had in his mind that kind of like seed of seeing the body of a man attractive. So because of karma, different karmas, not that only karma, but different karmas creates that tendency, and that tendency continues, right? Even if he has a body of a man. The women, the same. Karma, tendencies, just that. So this is for everything that we do. Everything we do is just tendencies, just create tendencies. That is so important that we understand that wow, so if this is like that, so the more I create positive tendencies, the better, not only now but in the future. So I have more probability that my tendencies, that whatever I'm going to be reborn, are going to be positive until we perfect those tendencies to be totally positive, right? And no negative anymore. But then we don't need to worry. So then that's what is a Buddha. The Buddha doesn't need to worry. The Buddha doesn't create karma anymore.
But does he keep coming back, reincarnates
He only comes back with intention. That is the difference.
with intention?
Yeah, that means that he chooses. Like one of explanations for the story of Siddhartha, which was the Buddha, was that he was already enlightened. He just came to show us. Because in that way, with that story, which many people in this world right now, 2,600 years ago, understand. That today, a friend of mine was talking to him, and he's not really a Buddhist, but he was talking, and then he said, yeah, like, but when we are so much like we have so much money, maybe we don't think about our own sufferings. And then I was going to say something, and he said, but Siddhartha, he was a prince, right? So he also left everything. And I said, yes, right? So that is, he already came with this to show us that it is possible, right? To show us that in the life we can, if we follow the path. So that's why it's so beautiful to read. There's the previous stories of the Buddha, when the Buddha was a bodhisattva and he was still training, and he was giving his body to the tigers. The story. That story is so beautiful because that story, it is when he had the control of his mind so much already, not still perfectly because he was not a Buddha, but he had so much control of his mind that he said, just one lifetime, that if I cut my body and I give to the tiger and the 5 cubs that he has, these 5 cubs in the future are gonna be my 5 disciples. So he could see that because he had that. And then he gave his body, and then he died. And then in the next lives, like some lives after, those 5 disciples, those 5 cubs became his 5 disciples. Beautiful, right? Cause and effect. We don't know this. We don't have that connection, but these happen, right? Okay, so let's meditate. Really, just a little meditation, just a small, short meditation. So we can also practice a bit. Oh my God, I am useless. I just can't stop talking. It's
This was good. Yeah, this was a meditation.
Yeah.
I learned something today. They're twins.
Exactly. We got the most important part, right?
That's why I was confused before.
Yes. Exactly. Okay, so let's do it. Let's try to understand the causes of our cyclic existence, which are two causes: delusions and karma. Okay, that is the most important thing. And we understand why, right? Now we understand why. Because if karma makes a seed, that means that As long as we are creating negative tendencies, we're gonna suffer. We don't, if we have negative tendencies in our minds, we can't have complete control of our minds. I love it that you said these words. Thank you so much. Very good. Complete control. Very good. So that's it. As long as we have that, we cannot have completely control of the mind. So these are the two causes of our psychic existence. Delusions, the negative minds that makes us right? Suffer right now and create the seed, the stamp, the imprint, next life to suffer again. There's no escape if we don't cut this.
Well, how about the never-ending desires? Doesn't
That's
that
it.
cause the suffering?
Yeah, that's exactly this. Desires, I know that they might look nice, but they are the main cause of our deluded minds. This is the main delusion. Three delusions, main delusions. The main one that starts everything, ignorance. Second one, desire, attachment, grasping. Third one, aversion, anger. That's it. These three create all our problems. All of the other deluded minds that we have are subdivisions of these three. All of them are just we don't have here a wheel of life, do we?
This one
can I
right here.
acquire-
You want me to bring it over?
Yes, can how to?
How can I acquire to
No,
don't-
don't worry, don't worry. No. I'll show later in another class. Because otherwise we're never gonna finish. You need to help me here. Exactly. You know, I can go on and on and on and on. You know,
Chinese.
exactly. We're having Chinese food or pizza.
So it's like how to acquire that knowledge to delete all of those desires.
So there's only two ways.
Like
That's it. Like,
the beginner.
so two things. Two things. The desire comes from self-grasping. From go first, self-cherishing, right? I cherish myself, therefore I wanted to have it whatever I want, right? And self-cherishing comes from wrong view of how we exist. And this is the self-grasping, because we grasp to inherit self. Okay. So the two things that cuts the self-cherishing and the self-grasping, the self-cherishing, bodhicitta, thinking about others, wanting to achieve enlightenment to benefit others.
That's developing the bodhicitta
Mind, attitude, the bodhicitta motivation, the bodhicitta aspiration, and the bodhicitta practical. Like that means that we do something to do that, right? And not just like in my mind, me, oh yeah, I would love to do that. And then the other one that cuts the self-grasping is the wisdom, realizing how things exist. So these two are the path to enlightenment. Yes, almost there. Meditate, let's meditate. Okay, so let's just find a comfortable posture. A lot of food for thought in this class. Just for a few moments, we try to check our motivation, our intention. Why are we here? What is the purpose? And maybe just by trying to do that, we start to realize we can check that our minds are not so easily able to focus on our purpose and be clear and understand. So maybe one of the purpose of why we are here is that because we might want to have more control of our minds, maybe even completely control. And if we look around us and the way the world is going on, so much negative things happening as well. If we think and analyze, we might be able to say these negative appearances, these negative experiences, these negative actions, they need to come from a cause. So maybe these people, just like us, also have uncontrolled minds. So I want then to develop an understanding, the knowledge, and the experience on how to control my mind so I can achieve a more peaceful and happy experience. And even being able to only experience that peace and happiness. And from there, then we are able to help others so they can also practice and they can realize and experience also happiness and peace. And the first way for us to start to trying to have fully control of our minds is to bring the attention into the single pointed concentration on our breath. In order to achieve fully control of our minds, we need to be able to concentrate single pointedly into beneficial, positive, virtuous mindsets. A mindset with no desire, with no anger, no jealousy, pride, confusion. So for a few moments, we try to do that. Concentrate and focus our attention to the single point of the subtle sensations of the air coming in and out of our nostrils. we can see how difficult and hard it is to concentrate the mind. So every time we realize that we are distracted, just bring back the attention to the breath again and again. And if we slowly let it go of the attention to the breath and we start analyzing our mind, we can see that due to this uncontrolled aspect, this uncontrolled experience, we continue creating or following negative tendencies of our mind. And these negative tendencies can propel us into negative rebirth, or just negative experiences. So if we start to analyze the causes for these negative experiences to arise, it's our negative mind. All the delusions, the disturbing emotions, them and the seeds that they leave in our mind, in our consciousness, which makes us again and again repeat them and experience a negative experience. So out of the different negative emotions, attachment, anger, pride, which one is the strongest for you? Try to check. So whatever it is the strongest delusion, negative tendencies that you have, not only means that you created that in the past, But if you continue following it, you are creating the causes for in the future to experience it again. Create our negative karma, negative tendencies again and again. But even though we might not have fully control of our minds right now, we do have some sort of control. We can practice the antidotes, the opposite minds of our deluded negative tendencies. If we are angry, we can meditate or we can practice patience. We have attachment, we can meditate on impermanence. We have pride, we can meditate or we can practice humility. And we can perform purification practices to completely eliminate the seeds that these negative tendencies create. So in this way, if we replace the negative tendencies and negative emotions for positive ones, that means that right now, we don't experience the negative tendencies. And if we purify those seeds, that means in the future, we also don't have negative experiences. So we are free from them. So we can conclude this meditation by not only understanding this, but that actively we will do something to decrease and to increase, to decrease our negative tendencies and increase our positive ones, the opposite of that. And that we're going to purify the negative seeds that they created. And in this way, we're going to gain control more and more of our own mind. And therefore, we're going to be in a better place to help others to do the same for themselves. So we dedicate that everything that we did, not only today, but in our previous lives, that were positive and created positive seeds, that they may sprout into helping us to practice these positive mindsets and to purify our negative seeds. And in this way that we are able to help others more and better. We dedicate for this to happen very soon. Okay. Good. Made sense? Yes. Very good. We had a good conversation at least. That is the idea. Very important that we understand that. We don't have completely control because of our being, because we are totally enslaved by our negative minds, and because we keep on following and experiencing the results, the seeds of those negative minds from the past. It's that. Okay?
So who said, if we feel that the source of our suffering is attachment,
Yes.
then it's good to meditate on impermanence. And how would you do it?
It depends. Attachment, it can be in so many ways, but one of the ways that is what I've been saying so many times as well, like the object. The attachment is you are superimposing, you are kind of like exaggerating, projecting the qualities of something, right? So understand that first, that this is a projection. That is very important. And second, the understanding that the object is changing all the time, and your mind as well. That means that you might not want that object forever as you are thinking that you want right now. You understand? Understanding that your mind also is going to change. Because right now it looks so, I need to have it, right? It is so essential to me in my life. But then you start to observe that, well, I've been here before and I'm alive without it. You know, I've been all these years without it. I was talking about that with another friend. It's like, a perfect example. People that says you need to travel business class, because once you go on that, you're never gonna want to stop that to have that again. Well, I lived my entire life traveling without business class and I have survived, right? But the attachment creates that need and that perfection is not there. Do you understand? So we do something. Yes, it's nice, but it's not going to make any difference. You understand? In our lives of happiness.
So the idea is to then meditate on the impermanence. For example, my cat
Yes.
who has diabetes. So if I'm attached to my
Yes,
cat
that's it.
and it makes me suffer when my cat is sick.
Yes.
So to meditate that the cat is impermanent.
The cat's going to die, to be completely blunt. Right? That is the impermanence that we need to check. And our own impermanence, right? That's why we call impermanence and death meditations. If we meditate on that, that's why I say, if we would have the understanding, complete understanding that and acceptance that we're going to die, we would not waste our times with so much, I'm sorry, don't record this part, crap that we do, you know? So that is the meditation, you know?
About that, then you're not supposed to love something that much that you're that attached to it.
Love and attachment is different, right? So that is the problem. You're talking about two different things. They have two words already. So that indicates that they are two different things. Love and attachment.
So when you have a pet,
When you have a pet, it's very good that you have a pet, right? You can do so many things for this pet. You can put mantras, you can talk to him, feed him, save him, do many things, right?
And you love it.
And you love it. But you know that this pet is gonna die. That's it.
So you shouldn't get that attached to anything.
Yes. You
Yes, I'm
shouldn't.
right?
Yes, you're totally right. You shouldn't get attached. The attachment is over exaggeration and projection of qualities that are not there. And in this case, we are projecting that the cat or the dog is permanent. Oh, the dog is going to be here for me forever. It's not. The cat's going to die. The dog is going to die. The son is going to die. The daughter is going to die. The mother is going to die. The father is going to die. The brother is going to die. The son is going to die. And we're going to die. Everybody's going to die. In 100 years, all of us are not here anymore. Right?
No one's scared. I thought I was. I was so happy I found this place and practicing and listening
Good.
and everything.
But don't get attached to it. I'm scared of what?
Because I still have these thoughts that come to me about how I didn't do the right thing in the past.
Uh-huh.
Like 30 years ago.
That's very good. Regret them. Don't get afraid of them. Regret.
Yeah, but if I keep having them, then I'm not getting the practice that I want from coming here.
But that's very good. Then you can see that is the best thing. Meditation, sometimes people say, I'm getting worse or I'm not changing. And I'm like,
scared that I'm not.
and I'm like, you've been coming here for 2 months, sweetheart.
Really,
You've been
somebody's gonna
doing
have to
these.
know that.
You've been doing this for 30 years. Which one is stronger, the habit? Right? It's like the muscle, right? Like a fat person, right? To lose weight takes time and effort. The fatter you are, the harder and the more time it takes for you to lose weight.
But
Right,
maybe
right?
it won't happen in this lifetime.
That's fine. You're
No,
creating.
because
Then you're creating the cause to get heaven next time. Don't worry, we will meet again. Don't worry. You're not gonna get rid of us like this. Don't worry. Exactly. And that is the good thing, because like if you make prayers to the Dalai Lama, to Rinpoche, to these people that have the possibility to choose where they're gonna be reborn, then they're gonna appear to you. That is exactly what I felt with Rinpoche. That I was in some ways looking for something that I could not pinpoint what it was, but I needed someone to help me stop feeling like, that I could not be happy with everything. I had everything, and I was like, I'm not happy. Right? And Rinpoche was there with his attitude of showing compassion, kindness, patience. Zopa means patience. Patience with all sentient beings. Every single person, Rinpoche used to treat exactly the same. The same doesn't mean, now, some people, of course, he knows for 50 years, so he would talk differently. But for new, you understand? But in the same intention, wanting to help. You understand? The intention is exactly the same. But if you know Jack for 50 years, then I know that Jack is like this, like that. So I'm gonna say something to that Jack that I just met you that I don't know. So then I'm gonna say something different. You understand? But the intention, you could feel that his intention was to help everybody. So then you get trust that you can become like him, and that someone like him will help you in next lives. Right? So you pray. That's what praise are for. It's aspiration. You create aspiration and you create that in your mind. Oh, may I do this? May I be able to do this? May I be able to do that? May I be able to do that? Praise, very important prayers. Very important. With that understanding that, but I need to do now. Oh, yes, please help me, please help, please help. And then, oh, yeah, the moment that I can not get angry with someone, I just do, no, but this person is like, no, look at me getting angry. You laugh at yourself. They look at me still doing that. Okay, let it go. Becomes faster. It's not that you totally let it go in the beginning. It just becomes faster. The realization of, I'm angry. I don't need to be angry. I cannot. And then you let it go. You understand? It becomes like, that is the practice. Then is the results of the practice. then you become lighter and all of that. And you're walking very fast. Don't think about that. Don't worry. You're doing very good. Yes. And then the last one.
We don't want to let you go.
And
And then we'll order.
you time it.
Met the Dalai Lama 20 years ago.
Yes.
Where?
Yamataka Center invited the Dalai
In
Lama.
Colombia.
Colombia. But, we had a meeting with 20 people. And he asked us, "Oh, how many years are you here? How many years?" And we were so proud. And we were expecting, like, "Oh, I'm very happy that you are good students." But he knew we were very bad students. He knew just looking at us. And he told us, "Just try to be a better person." That was it.
Better. That's it. That's exactly this. You know?
Because he knew in this lifetime we'll be very difficult.
One of my teachers, many of my teachers, they always say the same. You know, some of my teachers, they always say the same. They say, you know, you go and then you study, you do these, you study these things, and you do it, and you're gonna do that for many lifetimes. You understand? And that's fine because we have been, you know, creating that karma, that kind of like um uh tendencies so strong that you know we're gonna do it again and again. And you have a perfect example, you know, that changing the mind is possible, right? You know that. So then you just go slowly and then you say, "Oh, the next life, I don't need to go through some things. And then I just go through other things. But then I kind of like, you know, I have that calm. It's like, these are another thing for me is like when I start to learn Dharma, you know, in this life, I just felt like, yes, 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 makes sense. Yeah, it was kind of like, you know, because of the imprints. It can only be. Some people go and they read it and they say, "What?" Or they read and they say, "Oh no, it's not for me." Right? That's fine. Not this life, maybe not the life. So that is very
No,
special.
but I think everybody's gonna have to come to this way of thinking eventually.
In a way, yes, but we don't need, like, for example, the bodhisattvas, the Buddha, they can come as Christ and Jesus, you know, because if you think about it, teaching is very similar to be a better person, to be a better human being, very similar. The thing is, we need to choose the path that works for us. It's us with ourselves. That's it, right? That's why I decided to become a monk. I said, for me, my crazy mind, best thing I can do, right? Best thing I can do to decrease my self-cherishing, decrease my negativity tendencies, and increase my positive ones. I remember my mom asked me, "How do you feel when I became a monk?" And I said, "I feel my life is not mine. I feel that I want to give my life to others." And I didn't have that until I actually became a monk. Then I could see. I was like, makes all the sense to repay, to give my life to every single person, right? the in the best way that I can. I don't know if I can give my body to a tiger. If I, you know, if there's a tiger. Luckily, there's not many tigers, but maybe in a shark here in the ocean, you know? I don't know if I can, you know? Not there yet, but slowly, 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 slowly. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Sorry that we didn't meditate so much, but we did a little bit. It was part of meditation.